Yesterday, I saw a movie trailer that I thought was really interesting. And it's about a family that turned into like a family of wrestlers. And I want to talk about a very important lesson that comes from this family and that is held within this story. But before I do, I just want to reintroduce myself. I'm Elliott Connie and I'm a licensed psychotherapist. And I cover things that are happening in the world and things that are happening in pop culture to bring to you the psychotherapy and psychological lessons that can improve our mental health. This story is one of those stories, or this moment is one of those moments. And it's about a family known as the Von Erichs. Their actually given name is Atkinson, but then the Von Erichs it's a wrestling family. Like the grandfather was a wrestler, the father was a wrestler, and he trained his sons to be wrestlers.
Ever since I was a child, people said my family was cursed. Mom tried to protect us with God. Pop tried to protect us with wrestling.
The family had what most people would consider a family curse, and lots of young deaths were happening in the family. I remember being a young boy and being a huge fan of wrestling, and I remember the Von Erich family. The most famous was Kerry Von Erich. They used to wrestle, they started wrestling in this place called the Sportatarium that was just south of downtown Dallas. And when I moved to Dallas, I remember driving by it just thinking, oh my gosh, like that's where this family birthed, that's where this family began to do what they do. It was historic, it was monumental. And the family tragedy story, which I didn't know at the time, there were 6 boys, one of them died at the age of 6 in an electrocution accident. 2 or maybe even 3 died by suicide. Another one died by a suspected drug overdose. And it made me think about family legacy and family curses as I was watching this. A lot of families have legacies. And I want to talk to you about how to break those legacies. And I want everybody to understand this because sometimes a family legacy is drug addiction. Family legacy can be alcohol addiction. Family legacy can be divorce. Like if you're in a family where all the people who have tough times get divorced, like that becomes a family legacy, just the repeated behavior over the course of generations. And if you want to break a family legacy, if a family legacy is not working, if you want to have a family legacy and not be ruled by it and do your own thing, you just have to do something different. Once you do something differently, it produces a new outcome, and thus you break the family pattern. If the family legacy is drug addiction and you decide not to use drugs, no matter how tempting it becomes, no matter how hard life gets, no matter how overwhelmed you become, you decide, I'm not going to use drugs, then you have effectively changed the family legacy. So then your children pick up your pattern, which does not include drugs. It'll include something else, right? Like if you exercise instead of using drugs, you start raising kids who exercise instead of using drugs. You know, when I watched this, I was kind of nervous because people are going to think like a curse is some, mystical person put some hex or curse or, spell on the family, and thus all these tragedies happen. But it's really just the legacy, which is a repeated behavior that happens over the course of multiple generations. And they're actually quite simple to break. Not easy, but simple. And the way to do that is to do something differently. Because once you do something differently, it produces a new outcome. And all families have them. They're simply patterns that occur in a family over the course of generations. And we have to think, does this pattern work for me? Is this the kind of thing I want in my life? And if not, we have to do something differently, so thus to produce a new outcome. So I'm excited to watch the movie. It reminds me of my childhood and how much I loved wrestling as a child. Like I remember wrestling with my 2 brothers and friends in the neighborhood and pretending to be Hulk Hogan and Kerry Von Erich and the Ultimate Warrior and people like that. But I want people to understand this family went through a tragedy due to the repeated behaviors that occurred over the course of multiple generations. And one brother lived because he decided to do something differently. And he's now alive to tell the story. And I want you to do something different in your family if the patterns don't work for you. So leave a comment below. I read every comment. Are you excited to watch this movie? What did you get out of this video I just made? I really, really appreciate it. I literally read every comment and I try to respond to each and every one. Also, please like and share this video, and please support my channel by hitting that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so you get notified each and every time I release a new video, which is Monday through Friday in the Therapist Reacts series. I love y'all. Thank you for being here, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video.